Howdy folks, how is the sound and how are you? Evan says, I suspect Jambareeqi really loves stew. It's alright. Howdy, Zelda. I've spent today trying to finish my review of Jungle Cruise for Jambareeqi Orange. That's been my main thing today. But I also took a break and watched a Brendan Fraser live panel because he's amazing. He's just so awesome. Jack, hi Jam, the sound's great and I'm great. That is great. It's gonna be great. That song's been stuck in my head lately. I don't know if this was outside the UK, but for a while the Frosty cereal had this campaign where it had this little boy walking down the street going, "It's gonna be great," and a lot of people found it very annoying, and that kid got bullied, unfortunately. But yeah, that's something I remember. Don't know if anyone else remembers. Evan, what do you think of Bill Scythe, the antagonist of Gravity Falls? He is awesome. He's absolutely awesome. He's that great balance of being incredibly creepy and sinister, but also kind of funny in a dark sort of way, which is tricky to do. Howdy, weird. Listy, hashtag Brendan deserves more love. Agreed, 100%. NW Zonde, we call them Froster Flakes here in the States. Ah, okay, yeah, we just call them Frosties. Zelda, do you like watching live theatre shows? I used to watch them with my family. I used to go to the theatre a lot. But now that I don't have time to do anything, and I don't really have that much money coming through, I don't go to the theatre as much. I mean, I grew up as a community actor as a kid, so I was in like community plays all as a kid. So theatre is just part of my childhood, and growing up, my parents would take us to go and see all sorts of productions, like musicals, operas, live performances, all sorts of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Every time there's a Gilbert and Sullivan, I used to always go to my local Gilbert and Sullivan productions because my local theatre just did amazing jobs bringing them to life. Like this wasn't just like the scale of the opera; it'd be also the special effects they would use. It'd be like, whoa, how are you doing this on a stage? I just loved the practical effects for them, and they were also very, very funny because Gilbert and Sullivan. I've seen Wicked live. That's probably the only like London's production I've seen. I went to my college for that one. What was another? I remember seeing a play where it's just one woman is like she's just a head in like a rubble of rocks around her, and the only other character appears halfway through and he's just sat on a chair, and it's just her monologuing, and the person they cast was do you want any tea? The tea lady from Father Ted. I forgot her name. Was it Mrs. Doyle or something? But yeah, so I saw that. Yeah, I've seen lots of theatre. I love theatre, and I miss going to theatre. I really do. It's just expensive. Oh, Socialist says the Frosties advert rings a bell. I am starting to think that it was a UK kind of thing. And Zande, thoughts on the new Thomas reboot? If you mean Thomas and Friends, I don't really catch up with Thomas-related things, if I'm honest. Evan, is there an old review of yours that you don't regret? Fred Rogers. I stand by that one. If you put a lot of my old reviews in front of me, I'll probably like nitpick the hell out of them. But the Fred Rogers one, I'm proud of that one. I really am. I'm really proud of that one. That video came from the heart. That one did. Jack, in terms of interesting Japanese culture, apparently a lot of Japanese teens like to go to creepy places like abandoned houses and woods at night. Is that a thing you would have done as a teen? Yes. It is actually, yeah. I can't remember if I ever did, but I love those kinds of things. I've also been on I've been through my city's ghost tour twice, just because I find it so fascinating, and just like seeing where all the stories come from, and it really inspires me as a horror filmmaker as well. All the kind of things they would tell, and the guy that hosted it was a guy called Penny Dreadful. And he would like dress up in a Victorian steampunk clothes, and it was just so cool. Yeah, so I went twice. I've really enjoyed it both times, and it's kind of creepy that like because the Penny Dreadful will like build this atmosphere and tell you what this thing I'm telling you right now. It happened right here where you're standing right now, and some people see this. It's like, oh, I love that kind of thing. So I'd be down for going to like abandoned houses and things. I remember one time I was going to sleep in a supposedly haunted house for a bit of fun, but nobody would come with me. I also considered camping at Monk's Bridge, which is considered to be the most haunted bridge in Sheffield or Yorkshire or something. I'm not a believer in these kinds of things, but I just find it interesting, and I just find it kind of, I like the atmosphere of it. I'm trying to find in chat where I am now. Oh yeah, Listy, Pauline McLean. Yes, that's it. Mrs. Doyle. Yeah, I think her name was Mrs. Doyle. So I saw a play with her where she was just a head in a bunch of rubble. I remember it being really, really good. I didn't get to meet her after though. Aaron Meta Show. Hi Jambareeqi, did you hear that Nickelodeon rejected the Ghost and the Molly McGee that's now debuting on Disney this October? Once again, the House of Smile throwing away good ideas. Yeah, I have no comment if I'm on it, because I don't really know this Molly McGee thing, McGee or something. Can you sell me on it? If it's something airing in October and it's got a Ghost in the title, I might like the sound of that. Evan, don't mean to make you feel bad, but is there a video of yours that you regret the most? Yes, most of the top 5 best and worsts I regret, but the one I regret the most is the one on the Disney animated films. That's a terrible video. Jack, a movie I think you should review is Howl from Beyond the Fog, a kaiju film entirely done with puppets. Even the humans are puppets. Oh, I like the sound of that. Oh, I don't know if I'd review it because my Puppet Panic schedule is like booked for the next 2 years. But I want to see that. That sounds fun. Socialist, I've just watched it and absolutely remember it's gonna taste great. Oh, you mean when you said it, I thought you meant the clown movies. It's gonna taste great advert. Yeah, I haven't thought about advert for a long fucking time. Well, the thing is, when I went to filmmaking camp, we made I went about 4 times, I think, and I think the first time we went, we made a film about someone trying out different lives. And my brother played the guardian angel, and I remember halfway through we just spoofed that advert. Spoofed. we just sang the song. We just recreated the advert. Jack, I meant to say fog, not FPG. I kind of got the idea. Probably meant fog. Jack, what elements do you think make a scary clown? I'm not the best person to ask for that because I just don't find clowns scary. I'm sorry. I just don't, because growing up, I wanted to be a clown. I wanted to be an entertainer in general, and I'm looking at that position now, but growing up I was like, every time I saw someone that was like making people laugh, making people entertained, that I looked up to that. So I never found clowns scary. So I'm not the kind of person that could explain why a clown could be scary. They just don't scare me, I'm sorry. Aaron. Oh, so this is about the Molly McGee ghost thing. Exuberant between Molly McGee and... Is it McGee or McGee? Sorry. And a grumpy ghost named Scratch become bound to each other forever when one of Scratch's curses backfires. That sounds pretty cool, actually. I like that. How bad a film was. Yeah, I'd go completely over the top with like how bad it was, just to kind of like, not just to like pad it out, but also to kind of like sell on the idea, yeah, this deserves to be on my worst. It's one of the reasons I stopped doing top 5 best and worst videos in general. The reason why the Disney animated movies one is the worst to me is because I just went all out with it. I was really immature, and I really exaggerated a lot of things in there, and yeah, it's shit. It's really shit. Socialists. A lot of people grew up to be clowns without meaning to. True. Zelda. They have to be funny, have bad days, and be psychotic. Again, I'm no expert on clown horror, but if Zelda, if you're afraid of clowns, I'll definitely hear you out on that's what makes them scary. Evan, have you ever heard of the series? Yeah, I'm not talking about him. Sorry. MW Xander, your stream keeps lagging. Is it lagging for anyone else? If it is, there's nothing I can do on my end, I'm afraid, except for restart my internet, which means restarting the whole stream. If it's lagging for everyone, then yes, I will have to restart. Miss Pearly, ever watched Breaking Bad? I watched the first 1 or 2 episodes, then I stopped. I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't stomach that. And the thing is, I like dark things, but I like... not that kind of dark. That just felt gross. When I was watching Breaking Bad, I felt kind of gross. Nothing against the show, and nothing against anyone that enjoys it, but like it wasn't my cup of tea. And I don't really watch that many like live action shows in general, if I'm honest. I think the only live action TV show I'm keeping up with right now is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the last episode of that airs this week, so my favorite live action TV show is probably Psychoville, which is it's from the creative League of Gentlemen, and not the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it's about it's hard to explain, but like it's about all these people that were patients in mental hospital, and they were abused there, and then I think they set fire to the place or something, and the whole show is about how they end up being tied to this conspiracy or something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but all the characters, most of the characters are played by 2 comedians, Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, who also created and wrote the show. Miss Pearl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine actually ends next week. I thought it was this week. I thought, I don't know. Because I know the only airing episodes on Thursdays, and like they already aired an episode last Thursday. I don't know. So I had a killer living close to me that I didn't know until I didn't know until I found out that they killed a student at school around the corner. Whoa! Oh, you mean a killer clown? Right. Zelda says, I had a killer clown living close to me that I didn't know about until I found out that they killed a student at a school around the corner. That's horrifying. Jeez. That is really scary. I don't think I've ever lived near a crime kind of thing. I mean, like, I remember living... The town that I grew up in, there were murders there, because it was a really dodgy town. But that's it, really. Miss Burley... did you see the Rick and Morty season 5 finale? No, I've not been keeping up with it. Evan, did you just ban me? No. If I banned you, I wouldn't be able to even see that message. So I don't know what's going on. Sorry, must be a Twitch problem. No, I've not been keeping up with Rick and Morty, I'm afraid. There's a lot of shows that I've just not kept up with, or I've just stopped watching. Probably because I don't have the time, or I found a show that I wanna get into. And to be honest, I'm very fussy about the shows I get into because I have so little time. I only tend to watch a show on like my editing breaks or my lunch breaks. So yeah, I'm picky. I'm picky about the shows that I'll spare my time for. I think the only show that I'm watching on my breaks now is My Hero Academia season 5. Has anyone else been watching My Hero Academia season 5? If you have, let me know what you're thinking of this season. I've heard a mixed response to it in general. NW Zon, Dave, thoughts on Harry Potter? No thoughts at all. Evan, why would you consider a genocidal tyrant irredeemable? I don't know what that's a reference to. Sorry. Any other questions, folks? Listy, how about the new Archer? Is that one you're into? It took me a while to warm up to it. I was watching Archer, and I got to that season where I think Archer's in a coma, and he's dreaming that he's in like a period detective world. I got up to that bit, and then I think I had to get on with like a marathon, and I kind of had to put it aside. But I do want to get back into it because I do really like Archer. Archer's a fun show. Archer's a very fun show. Zelda, not yet, please. I haven't gone past the first season. Okay, so no opinions on My Hero Academia season 5, everyone. Unless it's spoiler free. Socialist, will you ever fully watch Attack on Titan? I'm gonna rewatch it because it's been so long. I'm gonna start from the beginning because I think I stopped about season 4 or 5, and I don't want to dive in being like, wait, what? Okay, so Evan's talking about general genocidal tyrants and why they're irredeemable. Because they're genocidal tyrants. I'm sorry, but what? Like that's an answer in itself. The worst kind of people. People that abuse their power and kill people. Okay. Jack, have you ever seen that 1997 Boris film with Jim Broadbent and John Goodman as the villain? I did rewatch it. I think I rewatched it last year or so. I don't remember really. It's very nostalgic to me. Very, very nostalgic. Because, I mean, it's 1997. I think I was like 6 or 7 when it came out. But rewatching it, I think the main thing I got from it was like, oh, these special effects are pretty cool for the 90s. I think that's all I remember. And John Goodman is friggin' amazing. Yeah, I honestly don't remember that much. I think one of the weirdest things about that film is the fact that Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy, is the little Burrow boy. Have you been inside the wrong room at the cinema by accident? No, not that I know of. I don't think I have. I remember when I was at a film festival in France and with my college class, we walked in and the film's dialogue was in one language and the subtitles were in another language. We sat there for 10 minutes and then my teacher was like, Just leave. Let's leave. Let's leave. Evan, what makes a great plot twist in your opinion? I would say it's difficult. It's difficult to sum up because it depends what kind of plot twist you want and what kind of impression to the audience you want to give. But I would say it's a matter of leaving enough subtle clues to make the twist believable, but also maybe slightly redirecting the audience with some red herrings and making them think, okay, that twist is unlikely to happen. I think that's the best way to describe a good plot twist, maybe. Jack, I rewatched parts of it, and they aren't borrowers, they're bloody thieves. In general, borrowers are. Yeah, you could probably apply that same criticism to Ariati as well. Endibizonde, favourite band? Probably Maximum the Hormone, who are best known for doing the theme songs for Death Note. I love them, they're awesome. What I love about their songs is that all their songs, they either troll the listener, because they'll open it with like a really catchy pop tune, and then they're like, I never do that, or all the way through the song, they're playing around with what each verse can sound like, and then they change the chorus around. They're very experimental. I really like that. Livestream say, channel your inner Wallace and confess your favourite cheese if you have one. Probably mozzarella, but I like spicy cheese. Spicy cheese is really nice, and I can't remember what the name of the spicy cheese I used to eat all the time was called. Jack, since you bring up Harry Potter actor in that film, because John Goodman's character is called Potter. I was thinking that as well, yeah. Socialist. So people are making their... This is what some people are saying what a good plot twist is. So you got Zelda saying, make some things obvious and not let the audience suspect the real plot twist. Yeah, that's a good... Yeah, you don't have to make the clues, all of the clues, subtle. Like, some of them is kind of like, some of it can just be basic information that seems really casual and throwaway, but once we get to the twist, it's like, oh, that information earlier was relevant, I just didn't think about it. Like a bad plot twist is when you rewatch a film and you know the plot twist is coming, but all the way through the film you're kind of like starting to ask questions. You're thinking, okay, so how is this plot twist possible later on if this is happening? Because then you realize, okay, that was a twist for the sake of a twist. So people are saying, people's opinions on plot twists. So Socialist says, if when it's revealed, it makes you go, oh, I get it. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Zelda, Sixth Sense is a great example in my opinion. Oh, definitely, absolutely. So, what's a movie that you listen? A movie you listen to? I think you mean a movie you watch. What's a movie you watch more than actually look? What? Okay, I'm trying to work out what you're saying now. So, what's a movie that you listen to more than actually looking at the screen? None really. I don't really listen to films, if I'm honest. If I want to listen to something, I'd probably listen to an audiobook. So I can't really have an example, sorry. Endibizonde, Detroit pizza, Chicago pizza, or New York pizza. I don't know the difference. You can remember I'm British, and I've never been to America. I'm not the person to answer that, sorry. Jack, what is the biggest rabbit hole you've fallen into? I don't really dive into rabbit holes, and I know I should, and I do want to do that kind of content. But usually with rabbit holes, I just leave it to other YouTubers, and I follow their rabbit holes. But that's something I've always wanted to do. Those kinds of videos, like dive into some kind of mystery, try and work out things like that. I'd like to really analyze a really niche YouTuber that's doing something strange. That I like those kind of videos. Evan, how do you make a female character interesting? The same reason you'd make a male character interesting, really, because yeah, they're both characters. The same kind of rules would apply. It's a matter of making them engaging. They don't have to be likable, but they have to be at least. They have to be a character that you can get invested in because they've got enough meat on them to make you go, ooh, I want to learn more about this character. Again, it'll depend on the context. It's a very broad thing to talk about when it comes to making a character interesting, because you got to think, okay, so what's why is the character in this film? What part did they play in this film? Why are we following this character? What is their involvement with this plot? So it's a very complicated thing that I can't really sum up in an answer, I'm afraid. Someone's asking something. It's in blue and I can't read it. Charmskin UK. Do you watch Asterix Conquers America starring Craig Charles, Rick Mayall, and Vanessa Feltz? I've not seen any animated Asterix films, if I'm honest. The only Asterix movie I grew up with as a kid was, I think it was the one where they're facing Caesar. Jack, what do you think of the Simpsons episode Homer's Enemy? It's really, really good. I'd be here all day talking about it. I think the best video I've seen on it is done by Renegade Cut, but I think there's another video that's going around about it that sounds really good. But what's interesting is that the intention behind the script was completely different to what we as an audience can read it as. Like, it's written by someone who wants to attack certain kinds of people, but ends up exposing that, yeah, the capitalist system's the real problem. Listed Ramsey, pie, cake, or pudding? Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh, that's really tough. Because you can't beat a good British pub pie, right? But if you're talking like dessert pie, then cake, I really like cake. I'll probably go with pudding, because like I really like soft things, so I'm gonna go with pudding. Socialist, Attack on Titan is really good with plot twist. I remember it being so, yeah. NW Zonde, New York pizza is more floppy. Detroit pizza is square because it's cooked in what you hold car parts. Okay. While Chicago pizza is just covered in sauce. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Howdy, Don. Socialists, Isayama is an amazing storyteller. Cool. If you're referring to Attack on Titan, that's awesome. NW Zonde, thoughts on the Big Hero 6 series? I've not seen it, sorry. I've not really seen any of the new Disney kind of like spin-off TV series, if I'm honest. Socialists, oh, you're a fan of Renegade Cut? Nice one. Yeah, Renegade Cut's awesome. Don, are you going to review Vivo and other animated films soon? I'm afraid nothing's planned. Nothing is planned in terms of like Vivo. But in terms of animated films that are coming out, in my schedule I have it booked that I'm going to be watching Hotel Transylvania 4, Sing 2, and Addams Family 2. Those are the only things I've got planned for right now. But like my schedule for the next few months, to the end of the year even, is booked. Like there's nothing else I can add into it. Which horror movie, in your opinion, would be still be scary if the budget was only £200? Oh, I don't know, because I don't know how much chipping off the budget would affect certain films. I mean, I think look back on some silent horror films and like they look like they could have worked cheap. Like Nosferatu, I think they didn't really. A lot of it does come from the production value, but I think that's because they were filming on like in German castles and that kind of thing. So I'd probably go with like like old silent films probably will still be scary even if you took a bit of the budget away. Jack, I think I remember months ago you said you were watching a documentary on Heaven's Gate. Did you finish watching it? And if so, what do you think of that case? If it was a few months ago, then I've completely forgot. Sorry, I have goldfish memory. Why? Yeah, Charmskin UK. I don't know why I go. That's one of my stims when I'm thinking. I'm not even gonna say something beginning with D. Dick. No. Don, have you seen The Last Mohican? I have not. No. I've not seen that film. There's a lot of classic movies I've not really watched, and if I said them, you'd be like, what? For example, I've never seen Rocky. I've never seen any of the Rocky films. I've not watched Seven Samurai, despite being a massive Kurosawa fan. I've seen most of Kurosawa's films. I've just not seen Seven Samurai. Trying to think. 12 Angry Men. I've not seen that. I've not seen the Usual Suspects. I've not seen Godfather Part 2. I've seen 1. I've not seen 2. But yeah, throw some classics at me and I'll see if I've seen them. Evan, which do you think is better in your opinion and why? Infinity War or Endgame? I'd say Endgame. It's just got more of a spectacle going for it. It really feels like a payoff. The comedy is funnier in Endgame as well, and I like the pacing more. Because I think Infinity War is just a bit too crazy really. Endgame has that big finale, but for the most part, it's a very slow film until it gets to that finale. And so I appreciate the pacing more in that. And Debiazoni, did you know that Phalos and Looper are getting married? I did see that. Yeah, congrats to them. Socialist says they've never seen Rocky either. Oof. I might be doing a Film Chums podcast on the Rocky movies next year anyway, to time with Creed 3. Jack, how far down the Christian rabbit hole have you gone down? Whenever I start to go down it, I quickly back up and get into more wholesome stuff. I've barely touched it. I think I watched Frederick Knutson's video on Christian and that was ages ago. I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. That's probably like the last rabbit hole I want to go down right now. Jack, have you seen Casablanca? Nope. That's another one I've not seen. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Okay, so I've seen A Fistful of Dollars. I've not seen A Fistful of Dollars More, and I've not seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Blah, blah, blah. I think the only reason I watched A Fistful of Dollars, though, was because it was a remake of a Kurosawa film. I think. Don, did you get a chance to check out the comic Like a Daisy? No, I'm afraid not. If you suggest something to me, I can't guarantee I'm going to check it out, I'm afraid, because I'm a very busy person. Jack, Citizen Kane. Yes, I have seen Citizen Kane, yes. Simply, do you prefer serialized comic books or graphic novels? I prefer graphic novels. And the big reason why is because you only have to buy one of them and it works as a standalone story. The problem with comic books is, and this is nothing against comic books or the fans that read them, it's just that anytime I've bought a comic book from a store, I open it up and it's like part 5 of this saga. I'm like, so I've got to go and buy like other issues to like carry it on. So you really have to be in the comic book community to like follow a series. But with a graphic novel, you just take it off the shelf and it's like, I remember one of my favorite graphic novels as a kid was the one that was about Kurt Cobain's life story. It was a biopic on Kurt Cobain. I remember that really sticking with me. Shawshank Redemption. Yes, I have seen Shawshank Redemption, and I have seen Mark Gummer's documentary on it. Vertigo. I've not seen Anna Warner. It's probably out of... Okay, the 2 Hitchcock films I really want to see the most are Vertigo and... What's the one with James Stewart? I just... Rear Window. Yeah. Which Frankenstein film do you think is the most accurate to Mary Shelley's novel? I've not read the novel since I was in high school, so I'm not the person to ask, I'm afraid. The only version I've probably seen is Kenneth Branagh's one. Charmskin UK. Did you watch Freebirds starring Owen Wilson, Woody Harrelson, and Amy Poehler? Yes, I have. There's a review of it on my blog site, Jambareeqi.com. Jack, do you think it's pointless for characters to go by the middle name? Like, Bruce Banner's full name is Robert Bruce Banner. Why couldn't he be called Bruce Robert Banner? I have no opinion on that, sorry. Listen, the comic books are also too floppy and get damaged easily unless they've got reinforced cover, but then they cost practically as much as a novel. Yeah, that's another good point. I mean, I do have some comic books lying around, and I inherited my uncle's comics as well. So I've got some vintage comics that are probably worth a lot. I just don't know where I put them. Like, these are like really old comics. Yeah. What's your favourite local restaurant? Local? I really like Zizzi's, which is an Italian restaurant. I really like Wagamama's. These are all very chain brand kind of places. I can't think of a local restaurant that I really like going to. Because I don't really go to the restaurant that often unless I'm with like mates. Oh, there's a restaurant in Sheffield that I really like called Ego. Yeah, and I really want to go there for my birthday. I'm gonna go with Ego. Really nice atmosphere, really nice food, and you can actually, when you look outside, you can see all the theatres of Sheffield. It's really nice. Um, Jack, have you seen The Room? Yes, I have seen The Room. I have seen The Room. The reason I watched The Room, though, the only reason I watched it was because me and my friends were going to do a read through of it. But we didn't do it because I ended up getting sick. Don, do you play any instruments? Not anymore. From like the ages of like 4 till 6, I played the acoustic guitar. But then I kind of stopped. From the ages, for most of my teenage years, I was a keyboardist. I was briefly in a couple of bands as well, so I was a keyboardist for a bit. I think that's it. That's the only thing I used to play. But I gave my keyboard to my niece, and anything music related now, I just hand over to my composer Carranza. Evan, I want to buy the Prince of Egypt on Blu-ray disc, but reviews say the picture is C grade. What would you predict? I have no opinions on Blu-rays, if I'm honest. Who would you consider the worst film director of all time based on both who they are as a person and their filmography? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, like, the obvious answer is probably Uwe Boll, because he's a terrible person, and his films are awful, but I've not seen any of his films, but they look awful. I don't know, because most of my favourite bad movies are made by people that I like. I really love Edward D. Wood Jr.'s films. I love them, and like they were a big part of my childhood. And I had a box set collection with like an Angora cover. Yeah, and like he had his problems as a person, but like he was fascinating at least, and very eccentric. Jack, why do you think Tommy Wiseau is so secretive about his life? Probably because he's done a lot of dodgy... Well, he has done a lot of dodgy things. According to Greg Sestero's book, he's done a lot of dodgy things, so he would be secretive. Where am I in chat? I've lost myself. 72, do you drink coffee at home or do you go out and buy coffee? I make my own coffee, but when I'm out at a cafe or a pub, I will sometimes order a coffee. If I'm at a pub, I'll often say, and some Baileys in that as well, please. Don, have you ever planned on going to Egypt or Africa itself? I'd love to. I'd love to travel the entire world. It's just money and time that stops me. Jack, why is Uwe Boll a bad person? I suppose I've never heard the real bad stuff he's done. Do we really want to get into that? I mean, there's probably YouTubers out there who've explained it better, but like I think the thing that really tipped it for me was people weren't donating to his crowdfunding thing. His finance, illusionist, Germany. Probably Wrath of... Is it Aguirre, the Wrath of God? Really like that. Italy... Zombie 2. Zombie Flesh Eaters. I'm gonna go with that. And Russia... I can't remember the Russian films I've seen now. Yeah. Someone remind me of some Russian films and I'll see if I remember them. So if you like the taste of fish, what is your kind of fish to eat? I am a vegetarian, so I don't eat fish. But when I did eat fish, I remember really liking salmon the most. I really like salmon. Any other questions, folks? Jack Hamilton, has it gone mute for anyone else? I don't know what that could be. Sorry, I really don't know. No sound. I don't know. I've got my microphone plugged in. My Streamlabs is saying that the sound's working. I don't know what to do, folks. Sound's back. That is weird. Weird. Strange. But yeah, let's have a bunch more questions, and then I've got to head off. I've got to finish my Jungle Cruise review. Very close to finishing. I think I think I have finished it. I think all I have to do is render it. And then I'm starting work on editing a Film Trumps podcast on the Cinderella movies. Socialist, well, be wary of talking about Africa as a single entity. There's more people in Africa than Europe. Oh, I think you're referring to someone else. Listy, do you have a marmalade sandwich under your hat? No, but I do have some. I have some marmalade in the house. But the best sandwich filling, and I know I shouldn't say this, but the best sandwich filling is Nutella. It is Nutella. That is a fact. It's awful for you, but it is the best sandwich spread in the entire world. I'm trying to think of some others I like. I think I remember liking the Biscoff. The Biscoff one was really nice as well. Don, what is a superpower you could have? Oh, what is one superpower you could have? Probably transformation, because it would save so much money on doing makeup for myself when it comes to like playing different characters. I could be like, transform. It's one of the reasons that I would love to have like a motion capture studio. I'd love to have one just so I could transform into all sorts of kinds of characters. Sensitive, what is your favourite genre? I don't really have one, but if you were to really push me, I'd probably say slice of life. It's like a balance between slice of life and horror. Those are the ones that I know they're very, very different, but like I really like those genres a lot, the most even. And probably comedy. So it's kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of that. Yeah. I mean, like when I'm making films, I kind of bounce between directing horror movies and slice of life and comedy. I mean, the next film I'm going to be working on is like it's a comedy, like riddle hunt film. Jack. Some hilarious names of some Liberian warlord, Liberian warlords were General Rambo, General Mosquito, General Mosquito Spray, and the most famous General Butt Naked. Oh, okay. Ender Bizarre, are you concerned about Mr. Enter's mental health? Because I've not watched Mr. Enter like ages, but I've seen some screenshots of the stuff he's been saying lately, and yeah, that is concerning. Socialist, Nutella is also good for pancakes too. Yes, I definitely agree there. It goes great with fruit. I'd probably put it on a banana, but nothing else. Don, are you afraid of any particular animals? Only animals that are like venomous, like particularly fatally venomous. That's it, really. I can put it with most animals, if I'm honest. I mean, I'm fine with most insects. The only time I get grossed by insects is if I've seen them squashed, because like, that grosses me out. But insects in general, I'm fine with. As long as they don't come in my room. Tomskin, did you watch Emperor's Secret? It's a Finnish 3D film. I've not seen Emperor's Secret. Would you like to pitch it to me? What's it about? I will be doing a video on 3D movies eventually. I have it planned, and I've even commissioned the thumbnail. It's just finding the time, because I'm going to be going through 8 different films. I'm hoping to do it in October, because I think that'd be a really good month to do 3D movies, because October's like the spooky month, the gimmicky month, so... Senfasuda, do you think cloning is an overdone storytelling cliche? Not that I can think of, and I kind of like the clone trope. I kind of like it because it gives the filmmakers an excuse to experiment with cloning actors on screen, and I like that effect. I really love that effect, and I used to play around with that effect when I was a young filmmaker. I love it. I really do, and I like the lengths filmmakers go to try and trick the audience that an actor is playing two different people. I like that a lot. I think that's really cool. I remember when I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's revealed that one of the characters has a twin. I was like, oh yes, they're gonna double the same actor, and I was just watching really carefully, like, how are they doing this? Like, where's the double standing? What effects are they using? So yeah, I like the clone trope. NW Zonde, are you afraid of rattlesnakes? I've never actually seen a rattlesnake. I'm pretty fine with snakes. I mean, like, one of my childhood friends is completely obsessed with, like, those kinds of animals, and he has pet snakes, and I've been in his room. I'm like, snakes, hi. So yeah. Any other questions, folks? I'll be leaving soon. Jack, were you surprised when you learnt films weren't filmed in order? Not really, because you've got to remember, I've been making films since I was a kid. And I kind of worked out myself that a good way of making films, especially amateur films, was to film around what was most convenient. So I wouldn't film in order. So when I learned that that's what they did in Hollywood, I'd be like, okay, makes sense, I'm doing it. Don, do you like cosplaying? I love cosplaying, I just can't make costumes. That's not me. Even when I made costumes for my stop motion films in university, they were really crude. But I love to dress up, I really do. The only time I've made my own cosplay is when I did a Max Goof cosplay for one of my birthday parties. Listy, we had a slow worm in our garden. Not a snake, but it looks like it. I've never heard of a slow worm before, if I'm honest. I can't think of, like, scary animals I've seen. I mean, I used to go to Australia when I was a kid to see my grandparents. And I don't remember seeing any scary animals. Got stung by a jellyfish, but I don't remember any scary animals while I was there. What is your favourite live-action Spider-Man costume? Not actor, just the costume. I don't know. I actually don't know, because if you were to ask me, the one I like the most because it's what I like, it would have to be the one that Tobey Maguire hand makes. I like that kind of costume. I like tacky things. And I like that there's a charm to how he's made it himself. But I think in terms of best costume, probably the actual one that Tobey Maguire officially wears in the franchise. I don't really like Tom Holland's costume. It's a bit too over designed. There's a bit too much on it. There's a bit too much going on with it. I've not seen Amazing Spider-Man, so no comment on that. I can't remember what the 70s films look like in terms of costume, and I can't remember what the Japanese version looks like. You've got to see the Japanese Spider-Man, by the way. There's a Japanese live-action Spider-Man show, and it's in a completely different world of its own. It's amazing. Listy. Oh, I've read that. Jack, why do you think Don Bluth's films decreased in quality? I don't really know, and I don't want to. All I could do was speculate. I think he say that the problem was, like, getting studios to agree to make hand-drawn films. Because I remember his last film was Titan AE, and that was a box office bomb, and that was the reason why 20th Century Fox Animation shut down. So I think that's the reason he kind of stopped. Oh, but you were talking about declining quality. I don't know. I really don't know. Only he can really say. Only he can really say what was the intention behind it, and I don't want to speak on his behalf. Socialist, will you be at Sheffield Comic Con on the 26th? Nope. Like I said, I'm booked up for the rest of the year. I was going to be paneling at a couple of cons this year, but like, and they said like we'll keep you updated if we're still happening, but like they've not got back to me. Don, what is your favorite holiday? I don't know. I love Halloween and I love Christmas. They're my top ones, but I can't decide between them because they both have their appeals and they're both equally great appeals. So it's hard to I cannot pick between them both. I can't. They're both great. Bill Mount, will you do a Papa Panic video on the Happy Time Murders? Unlikely because I've already done a cinema video on it. Charms Skin UK, the film stars, I can't remember what you're referring to, sorry. It was that the Finnish 3D film. The film stars familiar characters from the Finnish TV show The Autocrats, a political side of Finnish politics, in a fairy tale where the inhabitants of a small Finnish village have to defend themselves against a despotic emperor. Okay. I don't know what to really say about that. It sounds very ingrained in Finnish culture, and I don't really know that much about Finnish culture, and I don't think I've seen any Finnish films or TV. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that, sorry. Bill Mount, not just Fox Animation. Didn't Warner Bros. Feature Animation shut down because of the animated films bombs? I was referring to Don Bluth films. I wasn't talking about in general, but their feature animation studio, I don't think it did shut down because it's still credited as producing a lot of the Warner Brothers animated films that come out nowadays. Like, it's the same studio that, like, the studio that did Space Jam, Quest for Camelot. They're still going. They're still making. They're still credited as being behind the Lego movies and the stuff that and Storks, all those kinds of things. So yeah, I don't think they shut down. Yeah. Okay, one more question, folks, and I've really got to head off. And you can expect the Jungle Cruise review to be up on YouTube tomorrow. Yes, it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. And hopefully the Filmatron Cinderella podcast will be up on probably Thursday. So yeah, let's answer one more question and then I'm gonna head off. I've got beautiful South stuck in my head. Ma 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 ma. I'm just waiting for questions now. Don, have you done an ancestry DNA test before? I have, but I don't know how seriously to take it because I did the I think it's the ancestry one. I did the DNA ancestry test and I got my results, and then suddenly there was like a burst of everyone getting Scottish, like a huge chunk of Scottish DNA, and I was like, okay, so if that's a glitch, then what else is a glitch on my thing? So I might do another test, but I also hear that like these companies are really shady in general, so I don't know who to trust. I really want like